Hello, good morning. Welcome to OT Cyber Coffee Minute. I'm Kara with Hillstrong. I'm joined by one of our founding partners, Chuck Tommey. Good morning, Chuck.
Hey, Kara, how are you doing this morning?
Doing great. So I have a question for you.
Shoot.
All right. Why are risk assessments important for securing industrial control systems? And what common blind spots have you found yourself during these assessments?
Great questions. Risk assessments, in our view, are the bedrock, right? They're the most important piece. If you don't know what you have, then it's really hard to design a comprehensive security program around those things, right? So knowing what you have is essential, and kind of where you are in the process of becoming as secure as you want to become. So we think about this a lot, and there's even multiple types of assessments: maturity, gap assessments against specific standards, and then the technical side, right? So really have to think about, what those assessments need to be, but each one of them has a place, right? And figuring out what the best solution is for any single organization. So, and then the second part was, kind of on the first point, why are they critical? Not only does it give you a starting point, but any cybersecurity program should be a continuous improvement type program, right? So you're going to need to also do assessments continuously along your journey to see where you are again and what the next steps are, right? How well have you implemented the previous roadmap that you came up with after the initial assessment? And then, what blind spots have we found? I think, there's a bunch of them, common things out there: unmanaged, OT connections that you didn't even know about. So that's why they're unmanaged. Kind of training, lack of training in certain cases, lack of support. Those are some issues where if you don't have that figured out in advance, the support side, and then you come to an incident, then it makes it that much more difficult. But I'd say probably the biggest one that we found is this thing we call indirect dependencies, where there's things that the OT operational side of the house is dependent upon, and they may not even be like a standard IT service or OT data flow kind of thing. It may be a business function in another area, but if that business function goes down, then the OT side can't continue to operate, or may not operate for long. So something like a quality system, where you have to record quality that may live in the IT world. If that goes down and you can't prove the provenance of the parts that you're producing or the systems that you're producing, then you may not be able to sell those, at least at full price. And then another really big one that's maybe not as hidden but is very common is the lack of a well put together and practiced incident response plan or disaster recovery plan. Oftentimes, people have spent a lot of time and effort detecting that there's an incident going on, but they haven't spent the same amount of time and effort figuring out how they're going to respond to specific types of incidents. So without that, it's almost like why detect it if you don't know what you're going to do about it?
True. And a quick add-on: how often do you think these risk assessments for manufacturers, as an example, should be done?
Well, I think most of the kind of community out there thinks at least annually for most of them. But it can depend a lot on the organization, where you are in the maturity curve. If you're pushing out new controls or processes, then you may need to do additional assessments to see how well that implementation is going, and ensure that it was done, to the degree that was expected.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Chuck. I appreciate you, and thanks for watching. Let this be your reminder to go have another cup of coffee or whatever caffeine gets you through your morning. Thanks so much. Have a good day.